First thing, I think most people are aware that we manufacture the sails in our own factory, and you know, owning a factory is a pain because you got to make sure you're taking care of your workers, and there's a lot more responsibility than just going to a Chinese factory and saying, "Here, make me these sails," paying for it. But the reason I do it is that I can control the quality and make sure that the sails are made right. You know, before I get started, I've been thinking a lot about how our industry starts the production so early, right? We start in May producing, and it's wrong because we end up hurting your guys' selling season because everybody kind of gets wind of the new equipment, and so they don't want to buy in the spring, they don't want to buy in the summer, and then they can only get the stuff in the fall. So we're getting one season, just fall, out of the year. Doesn't make sense. So I'm going to change my production year to January. So we're going to start producing in January, and the stuff's going to be new in the spring. We'll get the summer and the fall out of it. It just makes so much sense.
So is that starting for January 2010
what I want
or
to
9?
do, I want to, I hope the Panther's good enough to be able to go until 2010. I'm going to refresh the colors probably next January, but it's going to be the same sail. Maybe a few little tweaks, but you won't be able to really notice a difference. But then get on that cycle. So
you say you're going to keep the longevity of the series of sails longer, which to me makes a lot of sense. You're going to change it for each year. And what would you want to do that?
Change it.
Are you looking to get out of this cycle of every year?
Oh, I think
for the sake of change, just to say there's change.
Well, I mean, like I read on a forum, and Neil Pride said, somebody from Neil Pride said that Ezzy sails are as exciting as watching the grass grow. And I saw that as a compliment. I mean, because I don't like to make change unless it's something really there. So I don't believe in making changes for change. So yeah, you could go. I mean, a 2-year cycle is fine. I changed the name on this. So this really is the new SE, but it's the Panther now. And the reason I changed the name is the sail is quite different, and I wanted people to understand that the SE had gone through a fairly long evolution. My goal for the rigging is to not have the customer have to analyze the profile to decide is it the right depth visually. What I'm trying to do of the sails is have indicators that show the downhaul and then also that show the outhaul. So on all the sails now, there'll be the 3 bars, maximum, downhaul, medium, and minimum. And then there'll be 3 corresponding strings. There's a long one, and that corresponds to the front for maximum. There's a medium one that corresponds to the middle one, and then a short one that corresponds to the light air. So when you set your sail up, if you want to go flat, you go to the front for the looseness, and you use the long string. So that way, if people do that without even looking at the profile, they'll be pretty close. And I learned this because in 2007, I did a big step with my design. And what I did wrong, though, is I didn't convey the proper rigging. And everybody was under downhauling them. And they were way too deep and hideous. So I had to take this very seriously to get the rigging right, the rigging indicators right. My goal is to sell sails. I really don't care about selling masts or schemes, but I don't want to force somebody to buy a mast for the sail. I want them to use their old mast because the sail is designed to fit Like our mast bend is basically a 1992 tidal wave fiber spar constant curve bend. It hasn't changed.
Yeah. It's a flexi top mast.
I guess. I mean, back then that was called a constant curve because North had more of a flex top, but now I guess it's called flex top because some other companies have more of a constant curve.
You put a wide diameter mast in it as well?
Yeah. Well, the sleeve is the same width sleeve, I think, back from my North days. So it's set up for a fat mouth. I'd never want to force somebody to have to buy a skinny mast. I mean, the skinny mast, the big advantage of the skinny mast is the waves, the durability, and the maneuverability. But sailing in a straight line, I mean, there's not really any difference. And some companies will tell you that their sails don't fit with a skinny, but I think that's not true. You'll see is different is there's this new material here, and this material is a Technora fiber. Technora is an aramid, similar to Kevlar. Kevlar is DuPont trade name. There's a company in Japan called Teijin, which is sort of the DuPont of Japan, and they also make Kevlar. The Technora is an improved aramid because it's got better UV qualities. Kevlar is quite sensitive to the sun, and it just like the film will get brittle and crack. Everyone's seen that with UV, but Kevlar loses a lot of its strength. Kevlar also has a problem with flexing, and Technora's got better UV and better flex qualities. So the Technora only comes in black, and it's just the yarn, and it's quite a bit more expensive than Kevlar too. The other thing with this cloth, it looks heavier, but actually it's about 20 or 25% lighter than this, and it's got a much thinner film, and it's got more yarn. So we're relying on the yarns or the fibers, the Technora fibers in there for the strength, as opposed to this Spectre cloth. The fibers in here are only there for tear strength, whereas with the Technora, the fibers are there for stretch strength. So we have a thinner film and stronger fibers, whereas with Spectra, it's the film that's giving us the stretching strength, and the fibers are just there for the tear. Does everyone understand that? Okay, the pulley is removable, and there's another D-ring that you can get. Now this doesn't come with the sail because most people want to use the pulley, but for people that use a north ratchet, this is the way to go, because there's a lot of angle from the north base if you pull it all the way down, and it wants to chafe on the edge of the pulley. They were showing me that at the OTC, that like the north pulley was actually the worst because it was the sharpest and it was breaking the rope. So for that you want to use the D-ring, and then you can pull it right down. Also for anybody that uses a hook. Seems like in the UK a lot of people like this. When I came out with the pulley, I had more emails coming from UK customers saying I'm upset there's no Kringle in my sail. So the first pulley I had wasn't removable, and it was mainly because of the UK complaints that I did this system.